Hello, everyone. Apologize for the for the mix up. It's what happens when you lose power. I don't know why we lost power, but we lost power on our end. So anyway, it'd be like that, and that's what happens when you do live programming, right? Right. Well, we'll just kind of. I guess we just leave it at that. But I wanted to kind of finish off, Mike, with just this whole point. This is an example of just how few people know and understand the policy and how it actually works, as well as the technology and what definitions are, and how many people in public policy really don't care to know the difference. And what they don't understand is that when you don't really know the difference, you really should think twice before you start writing or rewriting laws in those particular areas. Just saying.
Yep. Yep.
anyway, anyway.
No, no, I thought you were done. You said you wanted to wrap it, so I was letting you wrap it. That means you get last word. So
okay, well, okay.
yeah.
Well, then I will wrap. I will wrap it with that, and then we'll move on to this last story. Now, this was one that really kind of got me. You folks may or may not remember. We talked about Gascon. He is the district attorney in Los Angeles, California. He is an individual who, let's just say that he is not particularly interested in enforcing the law. He thinks that criminals are victims. And as such, he really wants to try and, what's the word I'm looking for? He basically is going to do everything possible to make sure that they get as light a sentence as possible. He's going to make sure that they are not actually held accountable for the decisions that they make or for the crimes that they actually wind up committing. Now, this particular individual also wound up, letting a guy out who was he was found guilty of a crime, basically molesting a 10-year-old girl, back in 2014, and it was because of some DNA evidence that was found that they actually wound up eventually catching the guy. Now he's 26. He is now a her. He is now transgender. So he's now he is now a she, and has now changed their gender. And now not that that's necessarily relevant to the story, but here is what is relevant is that this particular individual got 2 years for molesting a 10-year-old girl because they were 2 months before it happened 2 months before their 18th birthday, and 2 weeks, 2 weeks before their 18th birthday. And as a result, and this was probably the craziest thing, now come to find out that in speaking in a phone conversation, that they were actually bragging that they were going to get away with it. And here's a snippet of the audio recording that has now been released.
It was a sexual assault of a 10-year-old girl inside a Denny's bathroom that years later resulted in a cold case DNA hit and an arrest of this suspect, then ID'd as James Tubbs. Now a 26-year-old transgender woman, Hannah Tubbs. But since she was a juvenile at the time of the assault, the sentence after a guilty plea, 2 years. Tubbs recorded laughing at the deal in this call first reported on Fox News.
Don't worry about it. It's a strike, but they're going to plead. I'm going to plead out to it. I'm going to plead guilty. They're going to stick me on probation, and it's going to be dropped. It's going to be done. I won't have to register. I won't have to nothing.
For an offender, you don't have to register?
I won't have to do none of that.
So what are they going to do to you then?
Nothing.
Gascon now admits the Tubbs sentence not tough enough, saying in a statement, "If we knew about her disregard for the harm she caused, we would have handled this case differently. The complex issues and facts of her particular case were unusual, and I should have treated them."
Exactly. They're saying they should have treated them that way. Here was the thing. This was an individual who, at the age of 18, almost 18, molested a 10-year-old. Sexually molested a 10-year-old, and is now 26. I'm sorry, but this is an individual who should have been tried as an adult, not as a child.
Here's how jacked up this story is. First off, Gascon here, he decided when he was running, it was one of his platforms, that juveniles would be tried as juveniles and adults would be tried as adults. There'd be no gray areas. It would just be that line. Well, this dude, all right, you can say he's a chick all he wants. This dude at 17 years old rapes a 10-year-old girl in a bathroom. Rapes. This wasn't no, oh, I'm sorry, my penis accidentally touched you. No, this was a full-on rape in that bathroom. They find out again 7 years later, or excuse me, 15 years later, right? After the dude gets caught, he goes, "Oh, by the way, I'm now a woman. I'm now a girl." So in California law, this person gets convicted, and Gascon convicts them as a juvenile. So now at 26-year-old, this dude has to serve 2 years in a female juvenile facility. All right. What?
Oh,
First off, you're not allowed to house it.
Mike.
Yeah.
It's now. Here's what's even crazier than that. Didn't declare that he was a she until she got arrested.
Exactly right. Yeah, because knowing where they would be detained, and that even at 26 years old, there might be 17-year-old, kids in there that might be bigger than him. Decided it was now a she, and it is now staying in the female prison. And by the way, because you can't house men and women together, this dude now girl is going to have their own facility inside this prison, juvenile detention facility, for 2 years. You're not allowed to house adults with juveniles. That's a clear Supreme Court decision from years ago. So this person's going to have this dude, now girl, is going to have their own room for 2 years in this facility and never see a juvenile. But when they do, there'll be women juveniles, 17 and below, because that's what they're going to get. This guy, when this reporter contacts the district attorney's office in Gascon, they go, "Are you aware of the case?" They're like, "Well, of course we know the case. Do you know that they said this and had no remorse in the bathroom, that we have tapes of that?" And they went, "I'm sorry, what? You what? No, we didn't know that." Because they didn't do their damn jobs. That's why.
Right.
This guy was so intent on just putting a 17-year-old away. Now, listen, Craig, I can see a good outcome to this. All right. I'll tell you right now, for many years in law enforcement, a 17-year-old dude that rapes a 10-year-old girl, that doesn't happen just once. If they get some good cops out there, and LAPD is full of good detectives, and go do some due diligence, they'll find many more open rape cases out there.
Yeah.
And then they can come back and try him as an adult and put him away forever.
Didn't exactly. This said that this didn't just happen out. This was not probably unlikely that this was the first time.
Yep. Or the last.
Or the last.
Yeah.
All right, now, Mike, with that, let's move on to our parting shot. Our parting shot, has a lot to do with what is currently going on. In Russia, or actually not in Russia, it's Russia in Ukraine. They believe it's Russia now. How about that? They believe that it's Russia now.
You mean the former Soviet Union?
Right, in the former Soviet Union. Well, let's tell you what. Let's just pull it up. And I don't even have that. I don't even have the new parting shot up there. I've got to pull that back up.
I'll describe it.
There
all right. So imagine a cartoon, folks. Right, and it's drawn and it's handwritten. And on one side, there's a dude, and on the other side, there's another dude, and they're both doing something. And as soon as Craig pulls it up, you'll be able to see what it is.
There it is. It is World Chess. And as you can see, the United States team is highly overmatched because it's being led by, President's sleepy tea time.
Yeah, let's be clear. That's not the United States team. That's
No.
Joe Biden. Okay.
Right.
Joe Biden. And Craig, if he finds out that you're talking bad about him, he may sanction you. So be careful.
Well, you know what's interesting is, if you notice, he's playing checkers while Putin's playing chess.
Well, that's the whole point. I'm sorry. I thought we got that. But
I know.
Yeah,
But
I made that reference a couple of times yesterday, that Putin's playing chess while Biden's playing checkers. But yeah, Craig, again, don't get caught doing anything bad, because if you do, Biden will sanction you. And then you know what he'll do if you do it again? He'll sanction you more.
Again.
Because you know what? Sanctions work. Ask the Cubans how 60 years worth of sanctions have been going. They're ready to give up any day now.
Yep. But that's all it took. All right, with that, sir, it's about time for us to make our fondue. Please tell the folks about our sponsors.
Our sponsors are good friends at Gorilla Machining, our grid defense to fine manufacturers of America's rifles components. Please reach out to both of them anywhere you are. They'll try to make you as happy as possible. And then, of course, our good friends at the California Republican Assembly. That's the Republican portion of the California Republican Party. Did I mess that up? I got that right?
Exactly.
I get that
The
wrong?
Republican wing of the California Republican
Ah,
Party.
there we go. There we
There
go.
we go.
The wing.
There we go. That's it. That's it, folks. Please visit our sponsors. Their links to their websites are in the description to this video. Now, if you're watching this on OpsLens, you're going to have to go to therundown.us in order to be able to find that information. But check it out. Check us out at therundown.us, and there'll be all the information and links to our sponsors. We very much appreciate you liking, sharing, and subscribing, and telling your friends to do the same. With that, we're going to be out. Thank you so much. I hope you folks have a phenomenal weekend, and we will see you once again on Monday.
Gun Day Monday.